Good morning, everyone. Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Hamilton. We welcome you here in the sanctuary, and for those of you who are joining us online, we ask that you turn your cell phones to worship mode. And for those who haven't installed that update yet, you can turn your phones to silence. Also, please feel free to use your cell phone to access our hearing assistance system, especially if you have T-Coil. I am Reverend Danny Weber, and my pronouns are they, them. And we are leaving the doors to the sanctuary open this morning because we need a piece for our HVAC system, and it is on order, and it's a little bit chilly in here. The HVAC system in that room is warm, so we're gonna try and bring some of the heat in, and I'm sorry. Please feel free to go grab your jacket if you need it. We have a special service this morning provided to us by our national office, the Canadian Unitarian Council, also known as the CUC. This weekend, the CUC hosted a collab, which many people from Hamilton Unitarians participated in here in our foyer this weekend. CoLab is short for Collaborative Laboratory, a place where a unique constellation of people can come together with the tools they have handy and create something out of nothing. It's an opportunity for creative exploration and self-discovery in a group setting. Yesterday, we had several people gathered here to create and to imagine different possibilities for creating a new world together. And this Sunday service is a culmination of the CUC's weekend of the CoLab play. It's entitled The Church of Our Imagination, and we'll be watching it on our screens together. But before we begin, I would like to thank everyone who helped to create the service, both at the CUC and those who made sure that we could share it with you today on our audio and video team. As well, all of the people who have helped in creating this beautiful building and atmosphere, from those who helped set up our sanctuary, the greeters, ushers, hospitality team members. We have a children's program happening in Fellowship Hall, and there are lots of volunteers there as well. Thank you to everyone. It takes a village to ensure that a community can put together a Sunday service and that we are in comfort and companionship. Thank you to everyone who helps us to create this service together. We do have a few short announcements today that will be on our screens at the end of the service, and I'm just going to capture some highlights for you. The Affordability Housing Team is organizing an event on November the 15th. It will be happening here at 6 p.m. There are several posters around the building, and please feel free to grab one and register on the Eventbrite. The Zoomers and Boomers are having a special event on November the 6th, and there is a sign-up sheet in the in the foyer that you are asked to sign up for the event. And this afternoon, after the church service, the visitor and congregant engagement team is inviting you to stay for our monthly meet and greet. It's an opportunity for newcomers as well as seasoned attendees. So please feel free to stay here in the sanctuary if you are interested. All right, let us begin the service.
We love our congregations and we are called out of them.
We imagine church within and beyond buildings.
We imagine church through social enterprise, a cafe, bike shop, community center.
We imagine church in houses, meeting as small groups as part of a larger body.
We imagine church online, maintaining connectedness over distance when we can't be together in person.
We imagine church on the street, building relationships, hearing stories, becoming friends.
We imagine church embedded in neighborhoods with deep roots and porous walls.
And we imagine our present churches, vibrant and sustainable, embedded in a dynamic web of symbiotic relationship within and beyond. We are called to start building this web.
Liz starts the story that there was a band of young Canadian leaders, mostly but not exclusively seminarians, who would find themselves gathering together. It was informal at first, meeting up and being together at national events, then more intentional as they realized they saw things in similar ways. And then a manifesto was written, The Church of Our Imagination. It was 2013, the Canadian Unitarian Council annual conference and meeting. I didn't actually write it, Liz confesses, but her friends insisted that your name needs to be on this too, and so it is. Carly adds that Rod also was not an author of the original document, though I think he offered an edit before the final version. Curtis, Sean, and I stood on a balcony at the ACM Hotel in Calgary fairly late at night, writing it together. And Rod and Liz signed the next morning in agreement, if memory serves. Lately, the manifesto is being shared again, used as opening words for a meeting, held up as an example of vision and inspiration, recognized as something of a prophecy. And so we return to the authors, asking them, how do you feel now about the Church of Our Imagination? What is the Church of your imagination today? And is that even the right question? What follows are their bittersweet reflections, their reconsidering of the message, what was missing and what is different now, and their wise questions for each of us today. The additional voices you hear throughout belong to members of the Canadian Unitarian Council staff and board teams, including both a youth and minister observer to the board. We thank you all for your support and dedication. The musical wisdom of the Reverend Wendy Luella Perkins holds us in gentle care as we reflect on our own lives and the churches of our own imaginations, as we remember Rod, no longer here in body, as we settle into the questions in this unsettled time.
We light our chalice in the spirit of creation, for ideas that break through, for trust that builds, for possibility and hope. We light our chalice for people who come together, not because they have to, not because there was a rule, but because they love to laugh or sing or touch the land, to connect, to deepen, to be their messy, sacred selves. We light our chalice for love that grows through nature, knowledge, struggle, faith. First one shared story, then another, building history, adding on, making mistakes, and starting again. We light our chalice, knowing that it is one small flame, offering one small moment with the power to draw us onto common ground. And for this moment, this holy moment, we give thanks.
Make a space in your life, a space for waiting. Make a space in your life, a space for dreaming. Make a space, make a space for loving. Make a space in your life, a space for being. Make a space in your life, a space for waiting. Make a space in your life, a space for dreaming. Make a space for loving. Make a space in your life, a space for being. Make a space in your life, a space for waiting. Make a space in your life, a space for dreaming. Make a space for loving. Make a space in your life, a space for being.
Before we go any further, before we talk about beliefs and dreams, let's locate ourselves first where we physically exist, remembering that there are more than our own needs to carry. Whether you are at home or at church, taking a walk or listening from work, take a moment to connect with the place you are in. We come from many places, different cultures and communities, most of us with roots in another town, another province, another country. Whether it is a recent move or an ancestral inheritance, most of us have come originally from somewhere else. And when we arrive, when we plant ourselves, we are settlers upon someone else's traditional land. It is our work to understand the histories, the relationships, the promises kept and broken. We give thanks for the privilege of making a home for whatever time we're given. We give our attention to the complicated histories that took place, that took space, that took everything from others. And we commit our efforts, our commitments, our resources to the work of living more equitable lives so wrongs may be righted and healthy relationships forged in a shared practice of being just neighbors on this stolen land.
My original call to UU ministry came as a three-way call. First, from my experiences in UU community as a child, youth, and young adult. Second, from a campus ministry that drew participants from many faiths and no faith background together for small group spiritual journeying. And third, from a Mennonite community center and church doing social justice work in its neighborhood. I had a strong desire to bring the fruits of all three settings together in my ministry, cross-pollinating gifts I found in each. Writing the Church of Our Imagination came from that place, from a longing for a way forward under the UU umbrella to do the relational and spiritual work that fed my soul outside, or mostly outside, of a traditional congregational context. 2 summers ago, I was on a cob building course with a team of people from diverse backgrounds. We spent our days using our hands and our feet to turn earth, clay, and sand into a beautiful tiny home. One night around the campfire, we co-created a ritual that acknowledged a significant transition for one of our group members. As we sang and blessed him, there were tears and laughter and a deep sense of connection. I looked around the circle, appreciating that we were in one of those true and precious, sometimes all too rare, spiritual moments in life. Yet I also realized this gift that I thought might be Unitarian Universalism's unique offering to the world was already happening. People are claiming or reclaiming the inherently human act of ritual and relationship with spirit. And they're doing it without seminaries, church buildings or ministers, budgets, or sustainability plans. For me, the Church of Our Imagination came from a place of longing for more moments like the one by the bonfire, more ritual, more transformation and acknowledging of changes in our lives, more relationship building, more laughter, more tears, more connection. And conversely, fewer hours spent talking and planning and meeting and strategizing and managing logistics for programs and events and even worship. Like people, institutions have life cycles, beginnings, middles, and ends. The Church of Our Imagination was not then and is not now a blueprint for salvation or sustainability, nor an elixir of eternal life. Rather, I think of it as an invitation to listen to our individual and collective longings without preconceived definitions of what is or isn't church. I have a relatively new practice that seems to be serving me well. Whenever I feel an urgent need to do or say or decide something, I take a breath instead. Sometimes it takes a few. Very often, the urgency fades and I can simply let go of that oh so urgent word or action instead. Every time I let go, my next exhale feels larger, more relaxed. My shoulders drop and I feel pent-up energy and stress leave my system. My advice now is it is time to let go of questions of sustainability and relevance and concerns of whether UUism is growing or declining or even dying. They're simply the wrong questions. Sustainability follows. It does not lead. So instead, let go of urgency, let go of shoulds, let go of fixing or molding in a new or different image, especially on any short time frame. Let go of anxieties and fears and what-ifs. Let go of any notion or need to rescue or save. Let go of ego. Let go of any undue weight upon your shoulders. Take a breath and let it all go. Ask instead, are we doing what brings us joy, connection, meaning, and healing? Ask, do the time and resources, the effort we put into our activities feel in balance with the meaning of the activities themselves? What is the ratio of effort to impact? Are we eager or weary when the task comes around again the next week, month, or year? Do we have fun amidst the effort? And ask, can other people find us who might want to join our circle? Do they know we're here? Do they know they're welcome? And is there room in the circle for them when they come, for the fullness of who they are and the gifts that they bring? If yes, in these three big areas, wonderful. If no, that is the work and the play ahead. Whether palliative or flourishing, my hope is the same for every person, organization, and institution. Let meaning and relationship be your guides. For every breath you take, as individuals and as people of shared faith, connect with joy, with passion, with ease and grace, and with one another, and let your hearts sing. Let everything else go. Do this whether there are millions or billions or just one more breath to take. For it is in those breaths that you will find the church of your imagination.
And alongside the struggles and sorrows of this life, there are also joys to share, milestones, blessings, and celebrations of all kinds. This morning, I would like to share my deep gratitude and joy for having had 14 people at the CoLab experience yesterday. We celebrate the joys among us and rejoice in the happiness that flows through our community. Sharing our joys and our sorrows with this beloved community is an act of courage and vulnerability, and to witness the joys and sorrows that are present within the life of our community helps us to deepen our relationships. We have a piece of music from Reverend Wendy Luella Perkins now, and as we listen, I invite you to come forward in silence to light a candle of joy or sorrow, allowing our community to hold and be held by one another in these tender times.
Inviting you to be really real with me, and trusting you want me to be real too. It's not how we were taught, I know, but that leaves so much room to grow. Inviting you to be really real with me, and trusting you want me to be real too. It's not how we were taught, I know, but that leaves so much room to grow. inviting you to be really real with me, and trusting you want me to be real too. It's not how we were taught, I know, but that leaves so much room to grow. It's not how we were taught, I know, but that leaves so much room to grow.
In each of our lives, there are joys and sorrows, and we rest here between two beautiful songs by Reverend Wendy Luella Perkins to make space for all that we carry. For all of the experiences, all of the feelings, all of the gifts and challenges and hopes, we make space. For the memories this service may stir, of our beloved Reverend Rodrigo Solano Canel, who we lost in an accident a little more than a year ago. For friends who have moved away, physically or spiritually, or for another reason. For the spaces left within us, holding an echo of their presence, we make space. Making a space for being. Slow down enough to feel the feelings. Blessings of grace bring peace and healing when I make a space for being.
Making a space for being. Slow down enough to feel the feelings. Blessings of grace bring peace and healing when I make a space for being. Making a space for being. Slow down enough to feel the feelings. Blessings of grace bring peace and healing when I make a space for being. Making a space for being. Slow down enough to feel the feelings. Blessings of grace bring peace and healing when I make a space for being. Ooh.
Hi, Canada. It's been a minute. Some of you know who I am from my time as a youth and young adult in our movement and have many cringy stories about my adolescence that I hope you keep to yourself. But for those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Sean Neil Barron. I grew up on Treaty 7 land. My parents were unchurched atheists, and I only found our faith when I was 16. When my friend Gabby invited me to her church that wasn't a church, and it was in that chance encounter, that first time sitting in the plastic chairs, hearing the creaky wooden floors of the Unitarian Church of Calgary, that I knew this, whatever this was, contained what my life would be about. That was in 2006. And here I am in my office in 2024, a minister of a UU congregation in northern Colorado, which is a 14-hour drive from Calgary, a congregation I've served for 8 years and who I love. I'm being asked to reflect on something that I co-wrote over 10 years ago. I gotta admit, it's kind of emotional. I wish when I read those words now, it didn't touch on such heartbreak. Not just about losing Rod, but of course that's a part of it. But on my journey from Calgary to Colorado, there have been many heartbreaks. When I wrote this poem and shared it, I could see in people's eyes the burning desire to make the future of the church our sole responsibility, as if we were saviors that would somehow stem the tide of the decade-long decline of organized religion by the sheer force of our imagination. Despite a faith that has said time and time again that we don't outsource salvation, I felt the yoke of anointment to that exact task. And I knew deep down it was a setup. Because salvation is an inside job, done in partnership. You can't expect someone else to do it for you. You have to be committed, covenanted, a part of it. This is one of the reasons that I didn't seriously consider returning to Canada to serve a congregation, which hurts. If I was a part of writing this now, I realize that we missed something essential. We were so focused on how church might manifest in different new ways that we missed the chance to articulate what is at the heart of the drive that would push us to venture out into all of those places in the first place. Which for me, the only word I know of that could possibly describe that is faith. What will save us from irrelevance is not a program or a specific manifestation of how we gather. It's the unleashing of people who feel alive in relationship to their faith, who can't but help live the question, what does a courageous love call me to be? What does it call me to do? And with whom? The cultivation of faith, the tending to that which we are loyal to, that which we depend upon, that which calls us beyond ourselves, invites a humility in the face of life's paradoxes. a conviction that we are not for ourselves alone, and in fact we must be in relationship with something beyond the narrow confines of our own mind, or even the like-minded. And that is found only in relationship with an other, only in relationship with that which is beyond us, something that some call God or the spirit of life, or as one of my congregants calls it, the power and potential of human becoming. I like that. Now, if you're anything like some of the members of my congregation, you've already got squirmy at the F word. And because I know who you are, you may be wondering if this faith talk is the outcome of 12 years of living in the United States. It's not. I've always thought this, because I see our faith as what fuels the practices, the perspectives of our religious tradition. I think our faith fuels the long journey from imagination to incarnation, from vision to vitality, from fear to faithfulness. It's faith that reminds us that we can at once revere the past while also trusting the dawning future. Because, friends, the dawning future, we can't see it. It's actually beyond our imagination. What we can do is be faithful to the tendrils of possibility and partnership that offer themselves to us now. Last year, our church sponsored a local drag competition, which led to a relationship with a drag performer that spawned our first ever drag Christmas service, where over 700 people showed up to see an all-original retelling of the Christmas story that centered the lived realities of queer and trans people now, who in the United States have been literally put in the crosshairs. I couldn't have imagined that one day I would look out and see a friend I met at a drag show at a local gay bar sitting beside a 92-year-old member of my congregation who was enjoying their first drag show, all taking place in our sanctuary. And it was beautiful. The church of our imagination is far more beautiful than anything we can imagine. Any manifesto, any poem, any articulation. If only we trust the strength of our convictions. If only we tend to our faith that puts us in relationship to that which is larger than us. If only we don't try to anoint another to be the ones that leads us to salvation. We might just have a chance of realizing in these beautiful moments the potential of this Unitarian Universalist thing that we're all a part of. I love you all. Thanks for being on the journey with me.
So many ways that this could go, not in my power to even know, not in my power to even know. So many ways that this could go, so many ways that this could go, not in my power to even know, not in my power to even know. So many ways that this could go, so many ways that this could go, not in my power to even know, not in my power to even know. So many ways that this could go, so many ways that this could go, not in my power to even know, not in my power to even know. So many ways that this could go.
When this was written, I loved it. I was at a time where I was having so many conversations about including what I would come to refer to as diverse expressions of UUism. And I felt really alone. And these words meant that there were other people who were like me, and they were a breath of oxygen for me when I needed them the most. And I still love those words, and I think we should keep using them, but I also think that there is a lie hidden in there, and that lie is hurting us, and that we should talk about it. I'm going to start with a story from when I was in my late teens. I was part of the Mennonite church at the time. This would have been like the 90s, so there was not a lot of mainstream churches were not yet accepting gender or sexual diversity at the time. But I was making a speech. I was making a speech about sexual diversity, and I remember ending with the words, "I think that we should allow gay people in our church." And the pastor, who was very wise, more liberal than his congregation and maybe more liberal than me, said, "Liz, we have hundreds of members. Of course, we already have gay people in our church. The question isn't, do we allow them in or not? The question is, do we acknowledge who they are? Do we lift up their stories as legitimate? And do we figure out how to serve their needs, just like we would figure out how to serve the needs of any church member?" And then he added, "And when someone is a part of a community, it's not good to talk about them as though they're not there." So today, the Church of Our Imagination Manifesto reads to me like we are talking about diverse expressions of UUism as though they are not there. And we are here. We're here today, and we were here when the manifesto was written. So you think about things like Unicamp, a community of tremendous depth, an anchor UU community for many people who don't have congregations and many people who do have a congregation. Or lay chaplains. If we're going to talk about UUism beyond walls, lay chaplains go out into the community and they use Unitarian Universalism to serve people at these crucial moments in their lives. Or even like there are newer expressions, or what we think of as new, things like soulful singing with Reverend Wendy Lilla Perkins, which is this community of extraordinary depth and connection. And it's been around for years, 4 years I think it is. The Hysterical Society, more about breadth than depth, has about 270,000 members, tells people about Unitarian Universalism. It's been around for, it will be a decade this March. So I work for an organization called Birth and Dignity, which supports these diverse UU expressions. And so I'm always immersed in this world, and I can tell you it's vibrant. It's teeming with life. We are not at a do we allow these people in UUism moment. We are in a it is not good to talk about people as though they're not there when they are moment. And the task now is to figure out how to acknowledge these communities as legitimate, how to lift up their stories, and how to serve their needs just as we serve congregational communities. Because the manifesto doesn't just talk about the existence of diverse expressions of UUism, it also talks about a dynamic and symbiotic relationship. And that relationship is often one-sided in many ways. So at both Mirth and Dignity and the Hysterical Society, we think about that relationship really intentionally. We think, how do we serve congregations? How do we do a good job of providing name recognition? How do we funnel people into congregations when they're interested in going deeper? How do we provide direct resources like funny worship resources? Or we have a preaching program, we have a workshop where we take some of the things we've learned and teach them to congregations that are looking to adapt. We think about our relationship to congregations and how we are serving them. I do that personally too. I am firmly anchored in this world of diverse Unitarian Universalism, and I am a member of a bricks and mortar congregation, and I serve there with my time. I pledge with my dollars. And when I talk about my UU identity, I talk about both pieces because I take that relationship and that diversity really seriously. So I would invite you to think about how you think of more and less pieces of UUism and what is legitimate and which stories are lifted up. And think about what you support. So if you are a member of two communities like a congregation and Unicamp or the Hysterical Society, how do you choose what you support and what you donate to? When you talk about being a Unitarian Universalist, do you tell the whole story or do you preference one piece? Or if you think about the organizations you're a part of, if you're a member of a congregation, for example, do you know if they support diverse expressions of Unitarian Universalism? Do you know if they look to receive benefit from diverse expressions of Judaism if they know what's going on in that world and are interfacing with it in a way that's beneficial to both. Or if you're a member of the CUC, which you are, because we all are, when the CUC goes out of its way to support diverse expressions of Judaism, are you excited about that, or do you kind of wish that they go back to focusing just on congregations? Diverse expressions of Unitarian Universalism are here. We have been here for decades. We are as you are, and we are as committed as you are. We are waiting to be acknowledged and supported. The Church of our imagination is a reality, and imagine what would happen if we claimed that reality as ours.
Clip is going to have an invitation into offering. The baskets in our room will be coming around for an offering for our congregation, but there will be additional opportunities to support any of the organizations that we've seen here today. Thank you so much for your support to our communities and our shared ministries together.
There you are, here I am, showing up with each other again, showing up with each other again. There you are, here I am, there you are, here I am, there you are, here I am, caring with each other again, caring with each other again. There you are, here I am, there you are, here I am, there you are, here I am, discovering each other again, discovering each other again. There you are, here I am, there you are, here I am, there you are, here I am, learning with each other again, learning with each other again. There you are, here I am, there you are, here I am, there you are, here I am, imagining with each other again, imagining with each other again. There you are, here I am, there you are, here I am.
Reverend Carly Merler invites us to consider: are we doing what brings us joy, connection, meaning, and healing? Can other people find us who might want to join our circle? And is there room in the circle for them when they come, for the fullness of who they are and the gifts that they bring? Reverend Sean Neil Barron asks us, what does a courageous love call me to be, to do? And Liz James reminds us that the church of our imagination is a reality and challenges us to imagine what would happen
if we claimed that reality as ours. Thank you.
Sean, pictured here with his Foothills Ministry colleagues, Reverends Gretchen Haley and Elaine Aaron Tanbrink, mostly spends his time proclaiming the gospel of Be More Gay. He enjoys nothing more than talking about how at risk the church he's serving is of becoming a gay church. He knows it already has.
Liz James now works for Mirth and Dignity, an organization that supports diverse expressions of Unitarian Universalism. She spends her winters traveling and doing preaching and workshops with congregations, and is currently working on a book with Skinner House Press.
Since writing The Church of Our Imagination, Carly and Curtis fell in love and are now married with 2 beautiful sons. This year, they changed their family name to Merlor in preparation for the birth of their second child, who also has Rodrigo as a middle name in honor of Rod. They have found vocation, community, and spiritual nourishment outside of Unitarian Universalism. Carly occasionally guest preaches in UU congregations.
Reverend Rod was deeply involved in congregational ministry and pivotal in nurturing youth and young adult leadership within the Unitarian and Universalist community. He was instrumental in creating the wording of the 8th principle. He made a significant and lasting impact. The Reverend Rod Fund for Youth and Young Adults is our way of honoring his memory, ensuring that Rod's legacy of love and hope lives on to inspire future generations.
There are days when you're tending the embers, when the flame flickers down to a spark, when the shadows grow long in your wilderness, when it's hard to be strong, just remember this. Keep it alive, keep it alive, the light of love that shines inside you. Keep it alive, burning and bright. Keep it alive, keep it alive, keep it alive, keep it alive. Keep it alive, keep it alive. Keep it alive, keep it alive. There's a flame that sustains love and justice. Everyone holds it here in the heart. It can carry us through from birth till death. It is kindled anew with every breath. Keep it alive, keep it alive, the light of love that shines inside you. Keep it alive, burning and bright. Keep it alive, keep it alive. The light
We love our congregations and we are called out of them.
We imagine church within and beyond buildings.
We imagine church through social enterprise, a cafe, bike shop, community center.
We imagine church and houses as meeting as small groups as part of a larger body.
We imagine church online, maintaining connectedness over distance when we can't be together in person.
We imagine church on the street, building relationships, hearing stories, becoming friends.
We imagine church embedded in neighborhoods with deep roots and porous walls.
And we imagine our present churches, vibrant and sustainable, embedded in a dynamic web of symbiotic relationship within and beyond. We are called to start building this web.
Service this morning. It's been great to be with you here in the room and knowing that people across the country are watching the same service.